Hey, Nile Motormouth Jenkins here in the Car Connection Workshop. This video brought to you by our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, have been my very own financial planners and my brothers from other mothers for over 20 years. Tap into their knowledge. These guys are two of the best in all of Canada, and they're very humble, and they're giving you 1 hour of their time to sit and have a discovery meeting. We call it the hour and the coffee. Leave your wallet, leave your handbag at home. There's no cost, no obligation. But if you have questions regarding finances, whether it's debt, whether it's arranging a mortgage, whether it's life insurance, critical illness insurance, putting together a will with powers of attorneys and beneficiaries, and you may have an investment portfolio with the bank, you are not making money, my friends. Check in with either Tony Miele or Larry Tetro on our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. Just very easily click on their link and open their profile page. Meet them, greet them, and set up a meeting. You can have it by Zoom, by phone, in person, in the boardroom, in a box, with a fox, but just get it done. Get your questions answered. Things will change for you when you think all is done and there's no solution. You need to get that hour and a coffee. Well, let's jump into today's video. This is a very interesting one, and I want to thank Joe for sharing this with us. He's been a long-time listener of Car Connection, and he says, Niall, I am really enjoying your videos, even more so than the radio program, and enjoying the podcasts. So he's spreading the word on the other side of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Here's what happened to Joe. And I want to thank Joe for sharing this with us. He has I think he said it was a Volvo wagon. He's going down the highway, and all of a sudden, the hood flies open. And he's in traffic, friends, at highway speed. The hood comes all the way open and wraps right over the windshield. It damaged the roof, the hood, the windshield. But I'm going to get to the cause because we need to talk about that. What happened? And he wanted to ask me, he told me what happened next, but what happened before is what's important. So this is where we need to get into this. Here's the issue. If you're putting a lot of lube, this is the latch. See that half moon in there? You see that? This is the latch. It grabs this piece here. This goes up with the spring. Let's see if I can push it there, Skippy. See how that goes up when the hood goes down? And that moonie, I call it the moonie, that grabs this edge around that pointed piece. Maybe you can hold that with your other hand and just shine right on here. Okay, so when this goes up, this spring gets collapsed, and then that piece goes right around that pointed piece on the back side, and it grabs it. Okay, thank you. This is the catch. Okay, so together, this with this is the latch. It latches the hood. So that's why when the hood is down, we're reaching in there to undo the catch. Why is it called a catch? It's got a point on it, a hook. See that hook? The catch sits in this hole. So when you pop the hood, the spring lifts the hood, then the catch hooks in here, like my finger. If this is not in the correct position and it's a little seized up or it's all goobered up because somebody just keeps spraying it and not cleaning it, you need to clean it and get a lot of that goober off there, because what happens eventually is it prevents it. That's open. If this catch is only halfway and that hood latch releases, your hood's flying up. And that's what happened to Joe. This was tight. The catch was tight. The hood catch wasn't completely grabbing the Mooney in here because it was all goobered up. So the hood vibrating popped up, and then the hood completely opened because the catch was not completely seated. So when you reach in to undo the catch, you're holding it back. Now the hood is free to open. You don't need that happening going down the highway, folks. So have a really good look at your catch mechanism, and some of them are just a little groove. So it may have a round bar that comes around and it goes into a catch, and the same principle applies. There is a latch mechanism in there that grabs that eyelet. So it may not be this design, it may be an eyelet, almost like a lock. You look at a lock, it may have that, and then a groove down here, and that comes down and it goes in. That is your catch. But every car has, that's your latch. Every car has a secondary, the catch. You've got to make sure both are working. Because what happened to Joe was the catch wasn't really caught. The hood vibrated, and then without warning, the hood just will come right up and flap and go right over the windshield. It's designed to do that in an accident. Now imagine that. He's going down the highway in Toronto, in traffic, 3 lanes of traffic. He was in the middle. When the hood went up and totally covered the windshield, he managed to stay calm and get the vehicle slowed down and get himself out of the middle lane over to the right, the outside lane, onto the shoulder of the road. It could have been an absolute disaster. And he managed to stave that off by staying calm. How many of you out there would have stayed calm? All of a sudden your windshield's completely covered by your hood. I'm going to venture to say not many. You'd panic, you'd swerve, you'd be trying to figure out what's going on instead of, as they say in flight, aviate, navigate, fly the plane. No matter what's going on. If the engine's quit, there's smoke coming out of the cockpit or coming out from underneath the engine area. It's the 3 things. Aviate, navigate, fly the plane. Joe did exactly the right thing. The hood went up, it covered the windshield. He didn't panic. He navigated his vehicle out of traffic and didn't clip anybody. Got over to the shoulder of the road. The car's being fixed. They're fixing it. It needs a hood. It damaged the fenders. It damaged the hinges. Because when this thing goes back, I'll just see if I can show you a little bit how far it'll go back. They're designed to fold over the windshield to protect the occupants from glass. They have kink spots. See these spots right here? See that dimple? Where is it? On that side, I can't see it. There'll be a dimple right here. See how this is dimpled? Right here? This hood will bend right here. So, see, it won't go any further, but when you're in an accident or the hood flies up, it will bend these hinges and it will fold the hood right here on both sides to cover. It's called a crumple zone, and it will protect the occupant and the driver. So whoever's in the front passenger, whoever's in the driver's side, the hood will fold and cover the windshield and protect you. So that's what happened to Joe going down the highway, and he managed to keep it under control and not get anyone else into his situation. He did a great job. I said to him, you did a great job, man. You kept the car under control, and the car is getting fixed. So it's in really good shape, but it's going to cost. So, because you're took us, that's right here. The weirdest things come out of your mind once in a while. Hood, windshield, the hinges and the cowling got damaged. This is a plastic one, but his would be metal. And so that's been damaged. So it was going to be quite expensive, way over $5,000. It doesn't take long to rack up $5,000 on a car today. Question? Do we have a question? It is covered by insurance, but they were going to write the car off, and he worked with the insurance company, and they're going to fix it. So the amount of money he was going to get for the car would not cover the costs of replacing it, not even close. So he worked it out with the insurance. They didn't write it off. I'm not sure if he bought it back. They've given him a settlement, and now he's getting it fixed. I think that's pretty much what happened, because if insurance decides to write it off, and you won't see any more pictures or videos of the 2017 Jeep JK that we've done a number of videos on. Our neighbor down the street here, Jen, it got T-boned 2 minutes from where I'm standing. 2 intersections up. A young chap in an F-150 ran the stop sign. She had her little dog Ellie with her, and he T-boned it right in the side. They wrote it off. And in the day, I went to look at it, and she said, "What do you think?" I said, "Let's get that over to some of my friends. I have a body shop in Niagara Falls, and let's see what they think." And it got written off within 3 days. She got a decent settlement, but still, she couldn't replace what she bought with that amount of money. So she had to go deeper into debt to replace it. Her dream vehicle was to have a Jeep. And she was so excited the day we went up to pick it up. I went with her. I went with her to pick it out and check it over, and went back when she was picking it up, and she was so upset that her baby got written off. But that happened so fast. And thank goodness Joe likes his car. It's a safe car, and they're going to keep it going. So again, pay attention not only to the latch. If it's gooey, you'll want to take it out of there and wash it down. What I do is I take them off, I'll wipe around it, and then I'll mark it with a Sharpie or whiteout. I usually use this. It's white. It's for welding. And I'll mark it so that I put it back exactly where it belongs, because there is adjustments. And you can, if you don't know how to do it, you'll be there all day trying to figure it out. So I wash around it, and then I'll mark it where it goes, the top, the side, take it off, take it to the Varsol bin and wash it. If it's a latch mechanism I can get out quickly and easily, then I take it out, take it to my wash bin and Varsol tank, and I clean it. Another question. Wow, busy today.
So you don't lube?
No, if you're gonna lube, I use a little bit of this. I use this, and no, they don't pay anything to support the channel, but I only use products. If you see anything in our videos, I have it because it works. I don't work with anything that sucks. The only thing I really don't like is I don't like these nice smooth cans anymore. I prefer this. I don't like these bullet shaped. I use PB Blaster, which is highly recommended by my old friend Glenn Ellis, who was a locksmith for almost 40 years. He said use this on locks and latches because there's no alcohol in it and it's not sticky gooey. You can use this, and again, they're not supporting the channel, but I find either or. Don't put anything on it like white lube or a grease. I don't use this on there. This is heavy duty penetrating grease, and it's sticky. And I'll just show you that for a minute here. You'll see. I generally use this on things that are working, like a chain. See, it starts to go sticky. See how it's sticky? I don't use this on latches. You can use this on hinges. It's okay on hinges if you have a vintage car and you don't want to see grease on the hinges. This product is really good for that, but you have to keep in mind it is sticky. Sticky means it attracts dust and dirt. This is your best bet. I would say there's how would I say this? Good, better, best. Okay? Good, better, best. Another question today. The grease on my shirt. We don't talk about that anymore because I work in the shop and stuff. If you watch the cooling system flush recently, I wear stuff. Stuff attacks me in the shop, and I'll go, okay, that's something new. Yeah, you got to watch that video because I totally got dressed down with cooling system schmutz. I was doing a gush and flush, and it gave me a really good shower. It'll give you a really good laugh. So thanks for stopping by. I asked Joe if I could share that with the viewers, and he said, please do, because it was a scary ordeal. And he said, I feel like a guardian angel watched me out of that traffic, away from everybody, and getting pulled over to find out what the heck just happened. And so we talked about it, and I said, the catch, I said, I asked him, was the catch a bit stiff? He goes, yeah, it was. It wouldn't always go all the way back. I said, well, that's what happened. It was not in position. It needs to go from where my thumb is pressing it to its catch position. Its resting position is in the catch position. So you want to check that. If the spring is weak, it's no good. You got another question? So I thought I'd throw that in for you. That is a safety issue. You want to review that with your technician. Again, if the catch is all sticky and gooey, this one here, because it's internal, you'd have to almost pull the radiator and the grill out to get it, is I would take some Varsol on a brush, and I would brush it, and then I would just wipe it down. And then I would reapply with the PV Blaster for sure. Or like I said, good, better, and best. So again, good, better, best. This on all your locks and hinges, lock cylinders especially. It is what I would call a locksmith's favorite. It doesn't goo up the locks. So till next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you get something out of that video. And don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe. Check your subscription if you're already subscribed. And I know all of you are enjoying the videos, but not subscribed. It's here from Skippy and I. We need you to subscribe. So take care of that little bit of business. And don't forget to join our online community at Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca, where we're part of the communal website that Skippy put together for the businesses in Stevensville and the community to come together. And we're there as the automotive professional on that website. Just click on the businesses button, and our iHeart icon is also on the home page. All of everything that I'm talking about is in the biggest drawer in our toolbox. That is the home page of our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. We'll see you in the next one. Happy, healthy motoring, peace, patience, kindness always. Thanks for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, yeah, the weather bell. I know you're enjoying the videos. Don't forget to ring the bell.